Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We've got a great one for you today. This was requested by a few people actually. We're going to have our header change color when it scrolls to different sections. So if I scroll down here, see it's changing to red. When we get to the next section, change to blue. Next section green, I think I added one. It'll turn to yellow when we go back up to the top. It's going to go to its white color. I've got extreme colors going on there, but you can change this to anything you want. So let's get started. I'm going to start a new page here. And we'll call it header color. And of course we use the Divi builder. I'm going to build from scratch. And let's just throw a few sections in here. I'm going to just put a quick blurb module in. I'll just put a little image in there. That's fine. I'm going to duplicate this section several times, so we've got 3 or 4 sections that we can scroll to. I'm going to hit the 2 little squares to duplicate. And I'm going to change the color of each of these so we can tell which sections we're scrolling to. I'm going to go into the background and let's make this one a gray. And while I'm in this section, I'm going to give it a unique CSS ID so we can scroll to it from a menu, and I'll show you how to set that up in a moment. Over in Advanced, you'll always find CSS IDs in classes. I'm going to call this one section 1. Make sure you put this in CSS ID and not class. You can call it what you want, but it wants to be unique and it wants to mean something to you. I know this is actually our second section, but I don't want it changing color on that top section there. And we'll go down here. We'll do the same thing. Over to Advanced, we'll give it a CSS ID. Section 2. Similar for this next one. Section 3. This one I'll leave it white again. Call this section 4. Now we got one here. I'm not going to give it an ID. We'll leave it as it is. Let's give it a little color background though. And give it that light gray. Great. So we got 4 sections here. Well, we got 6 sections, but 4 of them are labeled with a CSS ID 4, 3, 2, and 1 here. And I set up my menu to scroll to each of these sections. I'll show you how to do that. So let's save our changes here. And exit the Visual Builder. And since I'm using the same IDs on this page as I did on the other one, I set my menu up for this. We can do it. See, it's scrolling section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4. I'll show you how to do that quickly for anybody that doesn't know how to make the menu scroll. And you can put the menu at the top of the page. You can have a floating menu. We've demonstrated that before. Or you can use button links to scroll to these sections if you want to. So to create the menu, go down to your dashboard, go down to Appearance and Menus. If you haven't created one yet, it'll ask you to create a new menu, or if you want to create a new menu, hit the Create New Menu there, give it a name and save it. To create a link that scrolls to these sections, let's just delete this one. We use what they call custom links. And here they are here. In the URL, you have to put a hashtag and then the CSS ID that we gave our sections. I just use sections 1 through 4. So this would be section 4. I've got 1, 2, and 3 up there already. You can write whatever you want in your link text here, whatever you want it to say. Just for convenience, I'm going to say section gap 4. When you're happy, add it to the menu. And these are all exactly the same. If I open one up here, it's got the hashtag, then the CSS ID. That reminds me, I need to put a home in the top section. Section 1 is section 1, hashtag section 1, etc. When you're happy, save your menu. It'll tell you that your menu, whatever it's called, has been updated. If we go back to this page now, let's just re-enable this visual builder, because I think when I get back to the top section, I've made that home link there. So let's give it an ID of home. Just so that they, when they click on that menu link to home, it'll take them back up to the top here. Okay, well, we've got to add a bit of code to make all this happen today. And we're using a bit of JavaScript to do this today and a tiny bit of CSS. Don't let that put you off. It's really easy and I've written it all for you. So let's add a code module. Doesn't matter where you put it. You can put it anywhere on your page. It's not going to take up much real estate. I'm going to drop it down below this little blurb module here. There's our code module. Great. Well, I'll put a link down below the video and you can find all this code in this PDF here. And first things first, let's copy it from the top script tag there. Make sure you don't omit anything. All the way down to the closing script tag right there. Control C to copy. We'll go back to our code module and we'll paste it in there. Now I've got a bit of CSS here as well that's just telling the section transition color is taking 1/3 of a second there. It's split up unfortunately here. So you can either copy that separately, put it in there, then copy this. You don't want to get that little page link or the file link down there. Or we can copy it all to the closing style tag there. And if you copy it and you get that little file link there, delete that. You don't need that. We'll go back to our code module and we'll paste that in there. It's got that little file link, so I'm going to take that out of there. That is not code. Okay, great. Well, let's just go through this a little bit. I've got this script activating the main header here, and this is the Divi default header. So if you've got a custom header, this is not going to work. I'll do a different video for your custom header to make this work on a custom header. And it's telling it when it goes to a section to change color basically. And the initial color of the header is right here on line 5, default color white. So if you want to change your header color initially when the page loads, put in any color you want there, and it can be RGBA, a hex color, whatever you want. If we scroll down a little bit here, I've got it offset by about 200 pixels just so that it's targeting, it's happening as soon as the section reaches the bottom of the header here. If you need to adjust that, you can do so right there. Just up it or down it to whatever your needs are. Your header may be a little deeper than mine or shallower. And here's the actual crazy colors that I've chosen it's going to change to. And we gave it CSS IDs, so I've got CSS ID there. And so section 1 is going to turn red, 2 blue, 3 green. And I'll show you how to add another section in a minute. So we've added 4 sections to this page. Obviously, change these colors to anything you want also. And down at the bottom here, it's saying when it goes back to the top, go back to the default color, which was the white that I put in up here. So again, that's whatever color you change it to there. That's great. And that little bit of CSS, as I mentioned earlier, is just telling it to ease through the colors in about 1/3 of a second to take the color change. So let's save this. We'll make sure it's going to work. Save the page changes, save draft or publish if you're ready. And we'll exit the Visual Builder. Now let's hit our section 1. As you can see, that's turned red. Section 2, turned blue. Section 3, turned green. Section 4, I haven't got a color for that, so it's going to go back to the default. But if you want to add a color for section 4, I'll show you exactly how to do that. So let's re-enable the Visual Builder. Go down to our little code module here. If you can't find your code module, because sometimes you'll be mousing around and don't quite get it, you can always flip to back-end mode, hit the little purple button, hit the little icon on the left-hand side for wireframe view, and you'll find it that way right there. When you're happy, just flip back to whatever view you like to watch. Okay, to add a new section, let's copy one of these. We're going to copy from where it says case all the way down to where it says break there with a little semicolon on the end. Control C to copy. I'm going to drop down a line. Just hit my return key. I want to put it in the same place. I'm going to paste that in there. Just tidy that up. I'm going to change that to section 4 because we gave the section below the CSS ID of section 4. This is what these are targeting. And we'll change that color maybe to a yellow. And just to show you how you can change a color here, let's change that green. Well, let's change the red to a light gray perhaps. And you can change this color. You can just click on the actual color itself if you want to. And let's make it perhaps a light gray, something like that. As you see, that's put an RGBA in. We'll save our changes when we're happy. Save draft or publish if you're ready. And let's exit the Visual Builder. We're at the top here, so we've got a white header. Section 1. I think we change that to a light grey. There we go. Section 2 is a blue. Section 3, I think, was a green. Section 4, I think we put a yellow in there. We just added that one. Turn to yellow. And go back to the top again. It's going to go back to that white. And any sections in between that you happen to scroll to up here, if they've not got a colour assigned to them, then it'll just go back to the default white. And as you can see, that's going to work exactly the same as you're scrolling through. So there we go, guys. This will have your header change color as you scroll to different sections. And this won't affect the tablet and mobile, because on tablet and mobile, this menu is not actually sticky. Like I say, I'll do another video and show you how to do this with a custom header. This is only going to work with your default Divi header here. Great. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Well, once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.